In the summer of 2014, Legendary Pictures announced the production of a new original King Kong movie to be distributed by Universal Studios. However, seeing the success of the 2014 Godzilla film, maneuvers were made behind the scenes to move the Kong film from Universal to Warner Brothers, bringing the two franchises under one roof. Titled Kong Skull Island, the film, released in 2017, was revamped into a prequel that would become the first act of a multi-film universe that would bring the two iconic monsters together for the first time since the 1960s. And so after the release of another Godzilla film titled King of the Monsters in 2019, the stage was officially set for Godzilla vs. Kong, which after many delays was finally released in March of 2021, giving fans the rematch they've been clamoring for decades. 5 years after Godzilla saved the Earth from King Ghidorah, he suddenly attacks an Apex Cybernetics facility in Florida, seemingly declaring war on humanity. In response, head of Apex Walter Simmons recruits disgraced scientist Nathan Lind to head an expedition into the Hollow Earth to obtain an immensely powerful energy source that could be used to fight back. Dr. Lind requests Kong, now a captive on Skull Island under the supervision of Dr. Eileen Andrews, to be used to both escort and protect this expedition, believing the Hollow Earth to be his original home. Meanwhile, Madison Russell, having been saved by Godzilla in the past, believes him to be innocent and recruits the help of a conspiracy podcaster and a high school friend to investigate further. However, as soon as Kong leaves Skull Island, an unusually angry Godzilla follows, triggering an ancient rivalry that could determine the fate of the world. Godzilla vs. Kong is a film that absolutely delivers on the promise of its title. For those who can't help but feel giddy at the prospect of seeing Godzilla and Kong duke it out on the scale only a massive Hollywood budget can afford, you will come out immensely satisfied, and perhaps even feeling like a kid again. Those looking for a little something more, however, will likely find the film severely lacking in the elements that makes for a genuinely engaging narrative, which has been stripped down to its bare essentials in an effort to get to the titular fight as fast as possible. This works in that regard, as it takes barely any time at all before Godzilla and Kong are trading blows, but this comes at the expense of a truly compelling story. The result is a monstrously entertaining but ultimately hollow experience that should satiate certain audiences looking to get their fill of kaiju carnage and nothing more. And get their thrill they will, because for all its myriad of issues, Godzilla vs. Kong gives the people what they want, namely a rock'em sock'em rumble between the two greatest monsters of cinema, and everything having to do with that is exquisitely done. All the monster action is clearly shot and beautifully choreographed, while still maintaining the sense of scale that is so important to making these movies feel huge. What also works to the film's benefit is its embrace of the absurd. This is an unabashedly silly movie, offering gorgeous visuals that relish in nothing but pure imagination, the kind that is sure to get kids' heads racing with possibilities. And so when viewed this way, it's hard to be too cynical about it. Still, there's simply no denying that, even more so than previous films in the MonsterVerse, the actual story and the human cast that supports it is utterly devoid of any depth. Great actors such as Rebecca Hall, Alexander Skarsgård, Demián Bichir, and Brian Tyree Henry are given nothing to do but react and spout inane dialogue that simply pushes the plot along. Millie Bobby Brown reprises her role from King of the Monsters, but she too is wasted in a B-plot that is mildly interesting at best. The closest the film gets to having genuine human emotion comes from Gia, a deaf Iwi native with whom Kong shares a bond with. She is the MVP of the movie, elevated by a great performance by the young and talented Kaylee Hottle. The heart of the movie, however, belongs to Kong. He is the real star and the true main character, and when viewed in this way, Godzilla vs. Kong is fairly compelling. The effects used to bring this character to life are incredible, imbuing him with a real sense of soul that makes you care for him regardless of which monster you're the bigger fan of. This gives the fights a genuine sense of tension, as Kong is consistently presented as the underdog against the more powerful Godzilla. Naturally, all this attention on Kong does take some of the narrative focus away from the King of the Monsters, but he is still a constant presence in the movie, and it's never too long before he shows up on screen. In fact, it's refreshing to see this iteration of Godzilla return to his more villainous roots, and he does things you've never seen him do before. Ultimately, Godzilla vs. Kong is satisfying in the sense that it delivers on a rematch 60 years in the making, but also frustrating in that it doesn't offer much else beyond that. It has no pretensions beyond being pure spectacle of the highest order, which is both a strength and a weakness. It is incredibly fast-paced, never slowing down to let you dwell on anything too deeply, which has the odd effect of making the film feel less epic despite it having been designed to be a culmination of the prior films. It is mostly devoid of substance, though there is some interesting narrative stuff going on with the monsters if you look hard enough for it. Still though, there is no denying that when this movie fires, it fires on all cylinders, offering up some of the coolest visuals and most thrilling action of both monsters' respective franchises. They are the real stars, they have the most character, and so when they are on screen, which is often, the film is a blast that your inner child can't help but love, flaws and all. For more reviews and opinions on all things Godzilla and Kong, subscribe and stay tuned to Up From the Depths.